Alright, so this video is going to be 5 tips that can help you be better prepared for your NCOER. Tip 1, be informed. How can you have a good NCOER if you don't know what's expected of you? You got to make sure that you know what their expectations of you are. I would ask, what does it take to meet the standard so that you can exceed the standard? If you don't know what the standard is, how can you exceed it and then have an excellent NCOER when the time comes? Understand all the different sections of the NCOER and determine what it will take to exceed the standard in each of those sections. So making sure that you understand what's expected of you, first and foremost, is going to be the most important thing that's going to set you up for success and make sure that in a year, when it's time for that NCOER, you're good to go. Number 2, make opportunities. On your NCOER, you cannot wait for people to come to you and give you opportunities to do training and to come up with ways to train 1,000 people and stuff like that. So you have to be creative and come up with those things on your own. It's too easy if you work in a warehouse to say, hey, Chief, I want to do a training for my section for the whole warehouse. Or hey, I want to train all the clerks in the battalion on how to come and pick up parts from the warehouse. Go out there and make those training events possible. Set yourself up for success by figuring out what's going on in your section that you can improve. Find out ways that you can show that, hey, I took my success rate from this percentage to this percentage. The Army loves numbers and percentages, so you got to make sure that you're able to articulate that in your NCOERs. You can't just say, oh, I was the greatest person, we did really good work. No. You got to make sure that you have some numbers to back you up. So make sure that you're thinking about that going forward. Number 3, take note of your accomplishments. As you accomplish stuff throughout the year, make sure that you're writing that stuff down. Don't just think that you're going to remember everything at the end of the year, because you are not. So as you do things or have a spot on your NCOER support form, which everybody has to do, you can open that up and kind of set out goals for yourself, and then you can go in and say, hey, I did this amount of training, I had this many people attend, I turned in this many items this month that was worth this much money. So take note of that stuff as you're going, so that you're not trying to think of everything within 30 days of your NCOER being due. Number 4, think big picture. It's not, your NCOER is about you, but it's not supposed to just be about you. So you need to make sure that you're capturing what you did for your soldiers, how you impacted soldiers, for one. As an E5, it's cool to put out a lot of information about yourself. As an E6, you need to make sure that you're talking about what you did for your soldiers, how you helped your platoon. As an E7, you really need to be thinking, how did I not only help my platoon, but how did I impact the company? And then it just keeps going. So even as an E5, there are some things that you're doing that's impacting the Army. How am I impacting the Army as a 92 Alpha? You can talk about the items that you turned in and how much money that added back into the Army supply system. Hey, I turned in over $1 million worth of equipment within the last 6 months. That's $1 million that's going back into a unit that the Army doesn't have to spend again. So make sure you're thinking big picture, not just about, oh, how am I helping my squad or my platoon? How is what we're doing in my section impacting the Army? Because that's what they want to see. Oh man, so they're not just working on company level stuff. They're trying to take care of the battalion, and the battalion is taking care of the division and things like that. So making sure that you're capturing that and making sure that you're putting that on your NCOER. So number 5 is stand up for yourself. Make sure that you're standing up for yourself. If you know you've worked hard, then you need to make sure that your NCOER reflects that. It's your responsibility to make sure that you're keeping track of all the stuff that you've done, so at the end of the year, people can't just put down whatever they want to put down. You have proof to prove what it is that you have done. You got to make sure that you're being honest with yourself at the same time. If you haven't worked hard, you can't expect to get that highly qualified or most qualified if you haven't put in the work. So standing up for yourself and making sure that you don't let people just write anything on your NCOER is going to pay off. This is what is going to be used to determine the type of soldier that you were. They're going to look back 5 years and say, man, over the last 5 years, you may have worked your butt off, but if your NCOERs don't reflect, nobody knows that. So you have to make sure that what you are doing is being reflected and is being written down, because the Army loves numbers and percentages. So if you do nothing else, make sure that you get that stuff documented, so when you get ready to apply for warrant officer or sergeant first class or master sergeant, when those boards come up, they have something to judge you by. It's nothing worse than seeing somebody that you know is trash but had excellent NCOERs get a position that they didn't necessarily deserve. And you've been working your butt off, so focused on grinding that you didn't take any classes, that you didn't do anything to develop yourself or to stand out or make sure that your NCOERs were legit, and now nobody knows how hard of a worker that you are. So I just want to encourage you to make sure that you are standing up for yourself. Oh, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you to all my new subscribers. I just reached 1,000 subscribers, so you know your girl is pretty excited about that. If there's any questions that you have about NCOERs, I am not the guru. I'm just sharing information that I wish I had back in the day. If there's any questions that you have, make sure you leave them in the comments down below, and subscribe, and we're gonna just keep trying to be great out here.